The Transport Secretary says he intends to fast-track the building of the high-speed rail line from London and Birmingham. Patrick McLoughlin told a newspaper he'd like to get agreement with the opposition parties so that legislation could be passed before the next general election in 2015. Sonja Jessup has been gauging reaction.
Deep in the Tory heartlands, a chilling message for David Cameron. The Chilterns, the front line of a bitter battle against high-speed rail.
The arrogance of we're ploughing ahead with this, we don't really care what you guys think, and we're not going to give you any answers in terms of compensation for the people whose lives are going to be affected.
They will lose an awful lot of votes up and down the line, that's for sure.
Jackie, Roger and John are all traditional Tory voters, but they say never again. They've been listening to the Transport Secretary and they don't like what he's had to say.
I will be cracking on with high speed too. Not just to get faster journeys, but just as vital to free up spaces on our overcrowded tracks.
And today he told the Independent newspaper he'd fast-track HS2. All we get is grief, all we get is hassle. But one of the things that government has got to try and do is look to the long-term future. But some of that grief is coming from its own members. HS2 would cut through swathes of Tory blue countryside. Chesham and Amersham's MP today criticising the government for potentially making an enormous mistake.
He's talking about grief and hassle, which is frankly insulting. We are serious people in this area. We look at business cases very critically and analytically. And there are so many holes and so many questions unanswered that he's just skating over the top.
So what does fast-tracking HS2 actually mean? Well, the Transport Secretary says he'd hope to get the plans through Parliament by the next general election in 2015. To do that, he says he'd hope to get some support from the Labour Party.
I'd like to see it work. I'd like to see a tunnelling option and I'd like to look at some rerouting. But at the moment, I really don't think that you can slash a great cavernous ravine through northwest London and expect people to just look the other way and get on with their lives, because you can't.
And while Tory voters here insist there's still time to change track, the government appears to have no intention of doing so. Sonja Jessup, BBC London News.
Londoners